I am now entering my second year of retirement, and one thing that I have gotten involved with that has been extremely worthwhile is working with MDS. This year, in early January, I got a call from MDS. They needed a driver to take one of the long-term volunteers for a project in Hurley, Virginia, down to the project that we were currently working on there. This place had been devastated by a flood, I believe in 2021. And this is a shot looking down the road of just one road that's approximately 5 miles long that was totally ravaged by this flood and mudslides. Homes were taken completely off their foundations and washed downstream. Unfortunately, around the time this happened, the hurricane in Florida was also taking place. So this did not get much coverage by media and also did not get much attention from any organizations that would come into the area to help. The area itself, Hurley, is about 90% coal. The occupation of the people is coal. These are pictures of a classic MDS rebuild. This is a footprint of a typical MDS house, and this is also being rebuilt where the house was taken off of its foundation, obviously a little higher up, closer to the road, away from the stream. Here is another house that we were rebuilding, and I want you to take particular attention of the small trailer that is right above the MDS van to the right of the house. That was a family of 5, 3 small children, a husband and a wife that had been living in that trailer since a year ago last August. Unfortunately, right before Christmas, the father of the family passed away from stomach cancer. So if you can imagine losing your home in 1 year and then your husband passes the next year, and the widow is now left with 3 small children. The oldest is about 7 years old. This is just a tragic situation. In the center of this picture is Frank Hoover. He is a board member on MDS and also one of the long-term volunteers. Frank is assessing the situation around this widow's house that we just looked at and decided in about a day that we were going to put a sidewalk in this area. The whole week was hampered by the lack of Wi-Fi and no phone coverage in the area that we worked in. But Frank quickly assessed what was needed. He eyeballed the front of the house, measured the length of the walk, and he left a message with the concrete company that he ordered 7 yards of concrete to do the work. He's just an amazing person, and he just loves trying to help other people. He's down here on his own accord. Here he's running a front end loader, putting stone in that we had near the site that would be hauled up to install the sidewalk. Again, all these decisions were made within about a day. We also checked the weather out, and the weather on Wednesday was favorable to put the sidewalk in. However, there was rain coming in on Thursday, so we had to get all of this done. And so we put the order in with the concrete company, and they said that they would come at 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday morning. The boys got work quickly putting the forms in and carving out the area where the sidewalk would be placed. We hauled the stone up to the site, and things started to take shape pretty quickly. Most of the volunteers this week were from old order Mennonite churches, which means that they drive horse and buggies. So I was their primary driver, hauled Frank everywhere we needed to go, and the boys got quickly busy to work putting the forms up and laying the concrete. This was on Wednesday morning. We got all the concrete in and poured and leveled, and Wednesday afternoon it started to sprinkle a little bit, which concerned us, but that rain never really materialized, and the sidewalk had time to harden overnight. And then Thursday we did get quite a substantial rain, but the sidewalk had already had enough time to set up, and the rain wouldn't hurt it. Can't help when I'm on a project like this thinking about the world that we live in. We live in a country that most of the people are concerned about our government, they're concerned about our own well-being, they're concerned about the economy, inflation, and all of the other maladies that have been top subject in the news in our country. And here we have a situation where we actually live in a country that has more than most other countries, and using my spare time to go down and help somebody like this, you can't help but wonder if, in the Bible it says that whatever you do for the least of these, you've done for me. And sometimes I have to wonder if you're not working for angels. Everything came in. We got a whole lot done in the expanse of a week's time. The sidewalk was all formed out and dug out, and the stone was put in, and the concrete was laid. And inside the house, they were painting kitchen cabinets and putting trim work in. The house was supposed to be dedicated in about 2 weeks from the week that we were there. And so this home, where the lady is about to move into, who just lost her husband, it gives you such a huge satisfaction to be able to give out of your own abundance and help somebody that just can't help themselves. It was just a very rewarding experience, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. It always amazes me working on a project like this, how quickly we have to assess situations and get the wheels in motion. Frank, being the long-term volunteer, had to make sure that we had the materials to build, all the electrical supplies, all of the stone, the concrete, the paint. Everything had to be procured for these people to come in and work and put a productive week's work in. We got everything accomplished that we had hoped for, and I know this week Frank is still down there working, and I just ask that you lift him up in prayer and give him the grace to get and the wisdom to get the things done that need to be done to get this family in their home. Here is a shot of a food bank that comes in, I think, once a month, and the cars are lined up completely out of the picture. So there's a lot of different types of aid going into this area. What really is unfortunate is how quickly we forget tragedies like this, and the aid sometimes is very limited because we are thinking about current news and not what has taken place in the past. I did find out after a week like this that when you get together with people of the same mindset, it doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, you all speak the same language. Interestingly enough, I found out that Frank is actually related to my wife. It was a great week.